Welcome to Montgomery College's Spanish Language Tutorial Series. This tutorial focuses on stem-changing verbs in the present indicative or present tense. In this tutorial, you will review the conjugation for stem-changing verbs in the present tense, complete expressions using stem changes where necessary, express present tense actions in Spanish, and learn about additional resources at Montgomery College. In preparation for this tutorial, please have your Spanish textbook with you. In addition to reviewing the content, you will complete a number of activities to practice the grammar presented in this tutorial. You will need to have a notebook and pen or pencil ready. If you are working on an iPad or other tablet, please have a writing application open to complete the activities. Stem-changing verbs deviate from the normal pattern of regular verbs. When stem-changing verbs are conjugated, they have a vowel change in the last syllable of the stem. Look at the chart. Empezar. The second E will change to IE. So we would say, yo empiezo. Volver. The O will change to UE. So we would say, yo vuelvo. In many verbs, such as empezar, the stem vowel changes from E to IE. Note that the nosotros, nosotras, and vosotros, vosotras forms don't have a stem change. Listen as the verb empezar is read. Repeat the forms. Yo empiezo. Tú empiezas. Usted, él, ella empieza. Nosotros, nosotras empezamos. Vosotros, vosotras empezáis. Ustedes, ellos, ellas empiezan. In many other verbs, such as volver, the stem vowel changes from O to UE. The nosotros, nosotras, and vosotros, vosotras forms have no stem change. Listen as the forms are read. Repeat the forms. Yo vuelvo. Tú vuelves. Usted, él, ella vuelve. Nosotros, nosotras volvemos. Vosotros, vosotras volvéis. Ustedes, ellos, ellas vuelven. Here are some common stem-changing verbs. The first list are verbs that have an E that change to IE. Note that the verb entender and preferir have two vowels, right? The second E is the one that will have the stem change. The second list of verbs are those that will change O to UE. Jugar, to play a sport or a game, is the only Spanish verb that has a U to UE stem change. Listen to the examples. Ella juega al tenis y al golf. Los chicos juegan al fútbol. Next, you will practice conjugating stem-changing verbs. Please have a notebook and pen or pencil ready to complete these activities. If working on an iPad or other tablet, please have a writing application open. Provide the present tense forms of these verbs. Please pause the presentation and complete this activity. When you have finished, press play to check your answers on the next slide. Pause the presentation now. Please check your responses with the answer key on the screen. Pause the presentation to check your answers now. When you have finished checking your responses, press play to continue with the tutorial. Conjugate the verbs in parentheses in present tense. Please pause the presentation and complete this activity. When you have finished, press play to check your answers on the next slide. Pause the presentation now. Please check your responses with the answer key on the screen. Pause the presentation to check your answers now. When you have finished checking your responses, press play to continue with the tutorial. Write what each person is doing. Use the subject provided and a verb from the list. Please pause the presentation and complete this activity. When you have finished, press play to check your answers on the next slide. Pause the presentation now. Please check your responses with the answer key on the screen. Pause the presentation to check your answers now. When you have finished checking your responses, press play to continue with the tutorial. There is a third kind of stem vowel change in some verbs, such as pedir, to ask for or to request. In these verbs, the stressed vowel in the stem changes from E to I. Look at the example. Pedir. The E will change to I in the stem, so we would say yo pido. As with other stem changing verbs you have learned, there is no stem change in the nosotros, nosotras, or vosotros, vosotras forms in the present tense. Listen as the verb pedir is read. Repeat the forms. Yo pido. Tú pides. Usted, él, ella pide. Nosotros, nosotras pedimos. Vosotros, vosotras pedís. Ustedes, ellos, ellas piden. These are the most common E to I stem changing verbs. Conseguir, decir, repetir, seguir. Look at the examples in context and listen as they are read. Pido favores cuando es necesario. Javier dice la verdad. Sigue con su tarea. Consiguen ver buenas películas. Atención! The verb decir is irregular in its yo form. Yo digo. The yo forms of seguir and conseguir have a spelling change in addition to the stem change, E to I. Sigo su plan. Consigo novelas en la librería. Provide the correct forms of the verbs. Please pause the presentation and complete this activity. When you have finished, press play to check your answers on the next slide. Pause the presentation now. Please check your responses with the answer key on the screen. Pause the presentation to check your answers now. When you have finished checking your responses, press play to continue with the tutorial. Form sentences using the elements provided. Conjugate the verb in each sentence and add any other necessary elements. Please pause the presentation and complete this activity. When you have finished, press play to check your answers on the next slide. Pause the presentation now. Please check your responses with the answer key on the screen. Pause the presentation to check your answers now. When you have finished checking your responses, press play to continue with the tutorial. Need more help? Here are some additional resources available to you outside of class at Montgomery College. Visit your professor during office hours. Your professor holds office hours every week to assist with questions and concerns. The purpose of office hours is to help you be successful in the course. You can find the location and the times of your professor's office hours on the course syllabus on your Blackboard course site. Here are some suggestions to make the most of your time with the professor. First, arrive with your textbook and with specific questions. Visit your professor early in the semester and as often as needed. If you cannot attend your professor's office hours due to work or other classes, ask if he or she is available to meet by appointment or virtually. Inquire about alternative options to get the help that you need. Montgomery College professors are ready and willing to offer extra guidance if needed. In addition to office hours, the World Languages discipline also has faculty tutoring on all 3 campuses. Please look at the different locations listed on the screen. Montgomery College students may visit a tutor on any campus, regardless of where he or she is taking the course. Pause the presentation to review the different locations for faculty tutoring. The tutoring schedule is available on your course Blackboard site and on the Writing, Reading, and Language Center's or Academic Success Center's websites. Pause the presentation and resume when you are ready. Another resource available for Montgomery College students is free online tutoring from Smart Thinking. To create a Smart Thinking account, follow the instructions on the screen. Pause the presentation to jot down the instructions if needed. This concludes the tutorial on STEM changing verbs. This video tutorial is part of a series of tutorials for Montgomery College students enrolled in a Spanish course. To view other tutorials in the series, please log on to your course Blackboard site and look for the appropriate folder under Course Content. This video series was produced and narrated by Professor Cristina Gentile, World Languages Coordinator from the Rockville campus, and Professor Carla Naranjo, Associate Professor of Spanish from the Germantown campus. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your Spanish course.